Good afternoon from Bath. It's a raining day, but still wonderful. This town is magical. It's stunning. The nature, it's all around. And you can feel there is a strong energy, a really powerful energy. It's, it got something. There is something unique. And now I understand why so many people keep telling me how beautiful it is, this city. And I can only be agree now. It's just fabulous. It's history. It's everywhere. Everywhere. Anywhere you go around the city, and you can find history. And I'm so glad that I got this job opportunity, so to come to know the people I met today. That was in itself a journey, and the opportunity to discover and sightseeing this beautiful city. And what I wanna talk about, the story I wanna talk about today, it's just happened. Actually, a few hours ago, I finished work and I went for a walk. And I was actually looking for a place to buy chips when I found the ruins of an old church. And I just got inside. There's a big graveyard, and there was some information about the history of that church and the graveyard, and I started reading it. And that's when I heard a voice that at first I thought coming from inside the church, and but then I thought coming from actually outside on the street. And while I was reading, someone started to whistle, and it was like whistling was singing like a song that at first I thought was Amarcord of Fellini, a famous Italian movie director, and Amarcord, a really famous Italian movie. And what I thought he was singing, one of the most famous soundtrack of the movie. But actually, then I realized it was something else. But I couldn't see from where it was coming and from where. So for a second, I thought to be from maybe the soul of some of the guests in the cemetery inside the church. But then, like, I tried to find and see where the sounds was coming from. I see this old man. So I wave to him and say, "Hey, hi," and like as a semi joke, I tell him, "Oh, I thought it was the sound that whistle was coming from some spirit." And that's we start to chit chat, and he asked me to sit next to me. So at first I didn't want, but then I can only say that I felt compelled to tell him that the reason why I say that about the spirits is because I do sometimes hear voices from spirits try to communicate something to me. So I started telling him about this when we actually he told me like he understood what I mean because there's something happened to him. But that's when I got really curious, and actually I sat next to him, and that's when his story started. And he told me about when he was young, walking down a street in Bath that at the time was a very dark and quite scary, like street. But one day he was doing that street many times because like he would do it after work. He said that like he always been brave and strong. He never really felt fear or anything. But he says that one day he felt a presence behind him, a strong presence. He turns around and no one was there. So he says that from that moment, every time he would literally reach a certain point of that street, he felt the presence all the time, all the time, all the time. That presence then slowly started to follow him until the end of that street. And every time he turns around and nothing. The presence is so strong, and he says that he knows that there is something, but he turns around and there is nothing. He could feel, he tells me that he could feel it was just 20 feet above him. He could feel, and he was sure, like he was sure 100% there was this presence just above him. But he knew he wasn't scared, he didn't fear it, and he knew he was there to protect him. So for me, that was enough, to just realize that we didn't meet by accident. Obviously, we didn't meet. We never met by accident anyway. But there was just it's just a reminder. And anyway, just to talk a bit more deeply. I think he was very sad, probably lonely, and he just started to tell me a bit about his life, about his wife that after 50 years left him, and he could feel the sadness from saying that. He didn't go into details, but he told me he's been a troubled man and problematic. I think he went through a lot. I don't know exactly what, because he did not go into that details, but he had a lot of problems. He probably had a lot of troubles and probably life. And he said that when he was young, he tried many times to commit suicide, but nothing. Every time he tried, it would not happen. He tried to lie on the railways of a train, and then normally would pass on that part of the city, but that night, nothing. And he says, at the end, you understand why, because twice he saved the life of 2 people tried to commit suicide. One, this big man lying on the railway with a bit of vodka, tried to commit suicide, and he even if it was big and heavy, he was able to take him away from the railway. And the second time, there was this guy that wanted to jump from a bridge, and he talked to him, and he convinced him to don't commit suicide. And then he go back to his ex-wife, that after 50 years left him, and he said he's over 80. But he loves her, and he cannot think about anyone else. He mentioned about that he cannot go close to her. Something happened, the police is involved, so he's not allowed to get close to her. And then he tells me how much he loves her, and there is nothing he can do. he cannot forget the love that he feels for her. And 50 years, they've been together 50 years. How can you forget someone when I've been with this woman for only 7? And even if I was the one to live, all the memory that we had together is so strong, and the sadness so hard to push away. So I can imagine what, actually probably I can't not imagine what means 50 years with someone you love. Maybe that is the lessons. If this is his unique journey, it is what he needs to learn. It's something related obviously to that lost relationship. We left each other. Before I left, he tells me about his daughter that came today to visit him for Father's Day. This is Father's Day in UK, and then he just wanted me to go. So he just initially I mentioned him that I was going to book to check in my hostel. So he just tells me to go, but why I was leaving, and he called me back and said there was something he wanted to tell me more that he forgot, and he has a connection with Italy, and because apparently his ex-wife, great parent, that was an artist, he met Garibaldi, the guy that the Italian propaganda tells that unified Italy. That the reality is probably that it was just a matter of power and lands. But anyway, it's not about this. What I want to say, but he says that he met Garibaldi while he was in Italy painting, and initially Garibaldi thinks that to be a spy, but he tell him that he was an artist, to believe him. So Garibaldi asked me to, okay, if you're an artist, draw me on my horse, and he does, and he believed in him, and that connection make him then actually get help by the English, maybe king, can't remember now, but someone with power to help Garibaldi to unify Italy. So the unification of Italy is irrelevant in this story, because I don't believe there is anything good on unifying Italy. I don't think the real purpose was for the well-being of the people, but it's about the connection that he has with something that anyway it's relevant on the history of the land that I was born. So he tells me that he still have that painting that I'm sure that if an Italian museum knew would pay millions for that. And then he let me go. It's the mission of the spirits was done. Obviously I had something to understand from this encounter that I think I might have understood. I think that what was more important was for him to meet me and hear what I had to say. I think that obviously there is always both way has something to learn. It's never one way. But some got something to learn more than the other. So in this case, I think in this case, I was the one to teach more, and he had something to teach me. I'm gonna restart my walk. Keep raining, but it's dark and it's raining, and he gives an extra magical touch to the city. So I will talk to you next time, and I wish to all of you a wonderful day or night. Bye.